Ladies and gentlemen, so today I want to teach you a powerful trend line strategy. So this video is for those that already trade with trend lines, and even if you do not trade with trend lines before, you can actually get an idea to start trading with trend lines with this particular video. Okay, without further ado, let's jump right into it. I have done a video some time ago where I talked about the fact that if you want to trade with trend lines, it is best to use a higher time frame. At least the minimum time frame you should be trading trend line strategy on should be H1. That's the 1 hour time frame, and right now I'm on the 1 hour time frame. You can use H4, you can use bigger time frames because they seem to have more credibility. Okay, they seem to have more authenticity when it comes to trend line strategy. If you are trading trend line with slower time frames, maybe 5 minutes, it's not going to be that accurate. Okay, but even with the higher time frame, you still need some form of confirmation. But I want to give you an idea that I don't think you're going to find it anywhere else. All right, and it's very, very important when it comes to trading trend line strategy, and that has to do with the types of trends you draw your trend line on. Anytime you are drawing your trend line, I have a few examples for you. Make sure you have a big push from the trend line. If you don't have massive momentum moves from your trend line, that trend line is not a plus trend line. Okay, it's a trend line that might help you lose money if you're not careful. So you need big momentum moves from your trend line. That in itself tells you that the trend line is strong. Okay, the idea behind it is a lot of buyers are at that level, or a lot of sellers are at that level. So when that level is going to break, definitely you would expect momentum. Okay, you would expect a lot of momentum to break that kind of level that has been showing a particular move in a certain direction. When I show you the example, you get what I'm trying to say. So look at this trend line that I've drawn. What do you notice? You would notice that at every point where price meets the trend line, we have a big move. So your trend line should be having big spaces like this, showing you that there are big moves happening anytime your trend line is touched. That in itself gives you a confirmation that this trend line is the type of trend line you need. If your trend line is giving you small moves, that trend line might fail you. Okay, so like I said, the idea and the logic behind it is that there are a lot of buyers at this level. Okay, that's for a bullish trend line. See what happened when price got back to that trend line again. A big bullish move. So for you to have a lot of buyers at this trend line, the people that are willing to buy at this trend line level, it tells you that once this trend line is broken, it must have taken a lot of momentum from the sellers to break it. So that momentum will continue. So you're going to have lesser number of fake outs. When a trend line is broken, it is broken for good. What you should now be looking out for is a direct continuation, which is first scenario, or second scenario, there could be a retest of the trend line before market starts moving in your direction. So this is the first example. You can see once price broke, it just kept going because it needs momentum to actually break a trend line that gives a lot of big pushes like what you've seen. All right, hope it's making sense. All right, so let me show you the second example. Look at this. This is another trend line I drew. And what do you notice about the trend line? Anytime price comes to the trend line, it's giving us a big push. That's what you need. You don't need small moves on your trend line. If it's small moves, it shows you that the buyers or the sellers at that particular level are not strong enough. You don't want to be trading that kind of trend line. It will disappoint you. So you have this big push. There is no jokes on that line. They are pushing. Buyers are pushing at that level. So when price danced and came back to the level, what did you notice? Big push again. So you have enough space. Now price came back again. You have a big push to the upside. Let me shift the screen. Okay, so at this point the push starts reducing, showing you that sellers the buyers are beginning to reduce. So once it got broken, it's broken for good. Forget it. You're making your money to the downside. It's either you enter immediately or you wait for confirmation. If you are the conservative trader, you wait for a retest of the level which we got here. So you take the trade to the downside. As simple as that. If you are getting value from this video, please subscribe to the channel. I have about 1 or 2 more examples for you. Look at this. What did you notice? Consecutive bullish candles. Buyers are just coming in. Okay, consecutive bullish candles. What do you have here? Big push to the upside. This even broke structure, so that's a very solid move. Okay, so For you to have strong buyers here, it would require, serious selling for that line to be broken. So it's not a weak trend line. And what did you have? Once the trend line got broken, this one did not even retest, just kept going in the downward direction, making you money, in the downward direction. So I think this is my last example. So what do we have here? Upwards movements, touched again, upwards movements, touched again, upwards movements. And when it got broken, we had a little retest and price moved in the downward direction. So basically, anytime you are drawing your trend line, don't come and draw. Let me show you some persons will come and draw a trend line here now. They'll come and draw a trend line here. Look at this. See how small the moves are. You come and draw a trend line here and say this is a trend line. You're waiting for it to break and retest. No, that's not good enough. It might work sometimes, don't get me wrong. It might work sometimes, but for you to have an A+ trend line, you need to see reasonable push away from the trend line, showing you that that trend line has a lot of buyers or sellers. So when it's going to get broken, it will require momentum to break. So if it breaks with momentum, it will be difficult for the other side to take over. If it's selling that made it break with momentum, it will be difficult for buyers to come and overtake them, because a lot of orders must have been placed for that line to be broken. So definitely the sellers would continue selling in the downward direction, and also vice versa. All right, so if you are a new viewer, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.